In this video, we are going to look into how the use of emojis in communication can cause misinterpretation and therefore misunderstandings between the communicators. Our topic is how we interpret emojis differently. Emojis are different types of icons used in text messages, and they are mostly used to describe a feeling, object, or an event. Emojis play a big part in how we communicate with each other in today's society. And it varies from all kinds of smiley faces to flags, food, cars, drinks, etc. It is important for the people who use emojis in their communication to understand that there are different ways of interpreting the emoji. Some people can associate an emoji with something completely different than what you intended.
To understand what this issue is all about, we have to point out some major factors that will make us understand emojis differently. There are plenty of factors to choose from, but we'll be focusing on these three main factors: age, communicative platform, and culture. All these factors are not totally concrete, and they may slide into each other sometimes depending on the situation or the persons involved. However, let us have a deeper look on the three main factors. The first and maybe most important factor is age. Depending on our age, we'll look at things in different ways. When talking about emoji, the difference is even more clear. Older persons are not used to show their feelings in social media like the younger generation, and therefore they will not see the smaller differences in each emoji. These small differences may not be that big, but big enough to misunderstand the message. After age, the second most important factor is a communicative platform. Depending on which device you're using, let's say an iPhone versus an Android phone, we see emojis differently. This means that your age hasn't so much to say anymore. Because what can you do when the emoji the sender sent you look different in your inbox? And let us for God's sake not forget about the PC. Because many of the emojis that you send from, let's say an iPhone, will appear in your inbox as a question mark or a black rectangle. The third and last factor is culture. When I'm talking about culture, we mean people are looking at things different based on the people around them or the way they are raised. It's also no secret that a person from a developing country will have issues to understand an emoji sent in a special setting. This issue also may appear in subcultures.
We will be covering these three emojis and how they can be differently interpreted based on culture, age, and device. As Håkon said, these three factors can make you look at emojis in a different way. Since the fed up emoji looks different on an Android than an iPhone, this can be wrongly interpreted. If you have an iPhone, it looks like this. Fed up. But if you have an Android, it looks like an admirational smile. If I was angry at Håkon and sending him a message about how he should have cleaned the kitchen, the admirational smile makes the message way less serious, and he may think I sent the message as a request and not a demand. peach emoji can be differently interpreted based on both age and culture. If you're updated on social media and you're from a culture where social media is acceptable, you might know that this can be looked at as a butt. We used emoji as a synonym for butt since there are no real butt emoji. If you're of the older generation, you might misunderstand a message and think that we're really talking about a peach.
Go for it.
Same goes for the aubergine emoji. The younger generation looks at the aubergine as a synonym for penis. Older generations or more conservative cultures may think that you are talking about dinner, snacks, or food in general.
As we've talked about in this video, the use and understanding of emojis varies depending on age, communicative platform, and culture. For example, the peach emoji can be used as a symbol for a butt instead of a peach. The communicative platform is also a factor because the emoji can appear different on, for example, an iPhone rather than an Android phone. What culture we come from is also important because this affects how we interpret the emoji. In conclusion, it is important that we are concrete with how we intend emoji when we communicate to avoid misinterpretation and misunderstandings with each other.